Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Jade Cargill has been unstoppable since her return to WWE at the Elimination Chamber. The former women's tag team champion targeted Naomi, who was the one that attacked her in late November and sidelined her for more than 3 months. The feud between the two former friends will continue during the road to WrestleMania and is expected to lead to a match at the grandest stage of them all. Jade wants revenge and might take it to the next level and look to dominate Naomi and make her reveal that she was working with a faction against Cargill and Bianca Belair. This faction is the reigning women's tag team champions Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Ever since the duo decided to go after the titles, they started a feud with Bianca and Jade and then Naomi when Cargill was ruled out with an injury. So, Liv and Raquel could have convinced Naomi to join them and then turned on Jade Cargill, assaulting her so Bianca Belair would be forced to vacate the titles. On that occasion, Jade would reunite with Bianca to pursue Liv and Raquel and attempt to reclaim their titles. Jade Cargill dominated Naomi on SmackDown last Friday night, following the latter's segment with Bianca Belair. It was the second consecutive time that Jade assaulted Naomi, as she brutally attacked her before the Women's Elimination Chamber match, costing her the opportunity to get a title shot at WrestleMania 41. Naomi didn't back down, though, and took to her account on X to take a shot at her former friend, sending her a message that she would dominate her once she was fully healthy. You can check out the tweet here. Jade Cargill moved from AEW to WWE last year, but this is the first time she will work on a storyline in singles action in the Stamford-based company, as she was part of the women's tag team division alongside Bianca Belair. The world of professional wrestling is constantly evolving, with superstars rising, falling, and reinventing themselves to keep audiences engaged. In the case of Jade Cargill, a powerhouse in AEW, she's already established herself as one of the most dominant forces in the ring. With her imposing physique, unmatched confidence, and an unrelenting hunger for dominance, she's carved a path of destruction through the women's division. However, Jade's ambitions go far beyond simply being a top competitor. She aims to take over the wrestling world. In this narrative, Jade Cargill sets her sights on Naomi, who recently made her return to the ring, only to use this encounter to unveil a new faction that will not only change the landscape of AEW, but also set her on a trajectory to ultimate power. Chapter 1. The Beginning of the End. The air was thick with anticipation as AEW's flagship show, Dynamite, was just about to go live. Fans packed the arena, their voices rising in unison as they awaited the opening segment. On the previous week's show, Jade Cargill had issued a challenge to Naomi. A challenge that echoed through the airwaves and sent ripples through the wrestling world. Naomi's return to AEW had already been a moment of much excitement for the fans. The former WWE superstar was beloved by the AEW faithful for her high-flying style, her charisma, and her energy. She represented everything that Jade Cargill wasn't: fun, flashy, and vibrant. But Jade was determined to make her mark and show Naomi who truly ran the women's division. As the show started, a video package aired highlighting the two women's contrasting styles. Jade's towering, dominating presence against Naomi's electrifying moves and bright personality. The stage was set for a clash of titans, but Jade had much more than just a match on her mind. When Naomi's entrance music hit, the crowd erupted. She danced her way to the ring, her energy infectious. But the smile on her face quickly turned to confusion when the lights flickered, and the ominous sounds of Jade's theme music echoed throughout the arena. The crowd's energy shifted as Jade Cargill, now wearing a sinister grin, strode to the ring, her muscles rippling beneath the tight fabric of her ring gear. Jade stood in the center of the ring, towering over Naomi, as the crowd buzzed in anticipation of what was to come. Jade's voice, cold and filled with disdain, rang out. "You may have the fans behind you, Naomi, but you've never faced someone like me. I'm not here to entertain, I'm here to dominate. And you're just another stepping stone on my path to greatness." This is where your little comeback ends. Naomi, ever confident, didn't back down. She stood tall, ready for whatever Jade threw her way. But Jade wasn't interested in a mere match. She had something much bigger planned. She wasn't just here to destroy Naomi. She was here to prove a point. You think you're special because you can dance around the ring, jump around, and smile for the fans. Well, let me tell you something, Naomi. It's time to put on your dancing shoes and tap out. Because tonight, I'm going to show you what real power looks like. With those words, Jade launched herself at Naomi. But this wasn't a fair match. It was a one-sided assault, a calculated destruction that would leave Naomi lying in the middle of the ring, unable to answer Jade's dominance. Chapter 2. The Destruction. The match quickly spiraled into a brutal showcase of Jade Cargill's raw strength. Naomi, despite her best efforts, had no answer to Jade's power. Every attempt at offense was met with a devastating counter. Soon, Naomi found herself trapped in Jade's brutal submission holds, struggling to escape but unable to do so. The crowd watched in stunned silence as Naomi was systematically dismantled by Jade. The star power of Naomi, her flashy moves and dazzling charisma, was completely overshadowed by Jade's cold, calculated destruction. The fans were stunned, unsure of what they were witnessing. But Jade was only getting started. As Naomi stumbled to her feet, bloodied and bruised, Jade grabbed her by the hair and tossed her into the turnbuckle with ease. Naomi's back slammed against the steel, and she collapsed to the mat in agony. Jade's cold smile never wavered as she prepared for her finishing move, the Jaded. As Jade climbed the ropes, ready to deliver the final blow, the crowd grew restless, chanting Naomi's name. They hoped for a miracle, that somehow Naomi would rally and find the strength to overcome the dominant force before her. But Jade's grip on the situation was too strong. With a violent slam, Jade hit the Jaded, a powerful pump-handle slam that drove Naomi into the mat. The arena was silent as the referee counted the pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Jade Cargill stood tall, victorious, as Naomi lay motionless in the center of the ring. The crowd, still stunned, could only watch in disbelief as Jade's music blared through the arena. But this wasn't the end of the story. This was only the beginning. Jade picked up a microphone, her eyes cold and calculating as she addressed the crowd. "I told you. You should have believed me. Naomi was nothing. I'm not here to be just another champion. I'm here to take over. This is my division, my world, and you all will bow before me because I'm not alone anymore. No one stands alone at the top. I've got an army, and I'm ready to make my move." As the words left her mouth, the arena lights dimmed. The crowd buzzed with confusion. Suddenly, 3 figures emerged from the shadows, walking slowly toward the ring. The first was a familiar face, Red Velvet, Jade's longtime ally. But the other 2 were unknown. The first mystery figure stepped forward, a tall, imposing woman with long, dark hair. The second was smaller but just as menacing, with an aura of danger surrounding her. Together, they stood beside Jade, each one exuding an air of dominance and power. Jade's grin widened. "Allow me to introduce you to my new faction," she declared, "the Echelon. We are the future. We are the rulers of AEW. And Naomi, well, she's just the first casualty." The crowd erupted in shock as Jade's new faction, the Echelon, stood united in the ring. Jade's words echoed through the arena, and a new chapter in AEW's women's division had just begun. Chapter 3. The Echelon Ascends. The weeks following the destruction of Naomi were filled with chaos. Jade Cargill, alongside her new faction, the Echelon, took over the AEW women's division with ruthless efficiency. Red Velvet, the first member of the Echelon, served as the enforcer. Her quick strikes and unmatched resilience made her a perfect right-hand woman to Jade. The 2 mystery women, now revealed as Kiera and Tasha, each brought their own unique skills to the group. Kiera was a powerhouse, her raw strength matching Jade's. Tasha, on the other hand, was a technical master able to twist opponents into submissions with ease. Together, they formed a perfect unit, a group that could decimate any opposition. But what set the Echelon apart was their ideology. Jade Cargill didn't just want to dominate the AEW women's division. She wanted to reshape it. She wanted to create a hierarchy where only the strongest survived. She wanted to make sure no one ever threatened her reign again. "We are not a faction of opportunists," Jade said in a promo. "We are a faction of winners. We don't just take what we want, we make the world bend to our will." The Echelon is the future. And if you want to survive in AEW, you better learn your place. As the Echelon ran roughshod over the division, they quickly made enemies. Women like Britt Baker, Toni Storm, and Thunder Rosa all found themselves standing against Jade and her faction. But no matter who they faced, the Echelon was always one step ahead. Jade's rise to power was swift, and her influence over the AEW women's division only grew with each passing week. The fans, once enamored with her dominance, began to understand the true depth of her plans. Jade wasn't content with just being the champion. She wanted to become the ruler of AEW, and with the Echelon by her side, she was well on her way. Chapter 4. The Battle for Supremacy. As the Echelon solidified its hold over the AEW women's division, other factions began to form in retaliation. But Jade's grip on power was unshakable. The stakes were raised as AEW's biggest superstars started to make their moves. With Jade Cargill leading the charge, the Echelon had become the most dominant force in professional wrestling. But as is the case in the world of professional wrestling, no reign goes uncontested for long. The question on everyone's mind was whether Jade's dominance would continue unchallenged, or if the other factions would rise to take her down. The seeds of rebellion had been planted. But for now, Jade and the Echelon stood atop the mountain, watching over the chaos they had created. In this narrative, Jade Cargill doesn't just destroy Naomi. She uses the moment to launch a new faction, the Echelon, which is set to dominate the AEW women's division. With her unrelenting drive for power, Jade Cargill proves that she is not only the top talent in AEW, but also the architect of a new era in wrestling. The world is watching, and the Echelon is just getting started. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.